All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Boss Bolshevism. I'm Drem,
I'm Marxist Hoodlum.
and today we're going to talk about. We got a special episode for you. It's going to be. We're going to talk about the recent news about P. Diddy and his sex crimes and actual crimes,
The Didler.
the Didler, and we're going to talk about
Breaking news.
breaking news as well. Iran has officially launched a counterattack against Israel for their bombing of the Iranian embassy in Syria, in Damascus.
Good for them.
So let's get right into it. We're gonna discuss our reaction to it and what the news seems to be. We have an article here from NBC News that details what the attack entails and what NBC knows. So what NBC News knows right now is that Iran has launched more than 100 drones towards Israel. And the military officials said beginning its retaliatory attack weeks after a suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian consular building in Syria that killed two of Tehran's top commanders. So if y'all remember a few years ago when Soleimani was bombed.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump bombed Soleimani. So basically, Israel bombed their replacement, or that guy's replacement, and a bunch of other commanders. What else do they know? The Biden administration expects Iran will also launch dozens of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles targeting Israeli government sites, not civilians or religious sites, a U.S. official said.
As you can tell, even the Biden administration, even says like they're not gonna target civilians and religious sites. They're targeting specifically military operations or Israeli government sites. So, I mean, that's it's better than us.
Yeah, they're actually playing by the rules. So, needless to say, they're doing it by the book, which is much more than they can say about us, or that we can say about ourselves. It will be hours before the drone arrives. The drones arrive, and Israel will aim to intercept them, Israeli military officials said. The U.S. and Israel have coordinated on a defense plan, including the USS Carney and other destroyers and assets, officials said. So it looks like it's going to be a party.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go into another article saying that the U.S. military troops are not concerned about any type of war with Iran, meaning that they can do whatever the fuck they want. Iran is powerless, and this is very not true. I mean, have we won the Afghanistan war? Have we won the Iraqi war? Have we won the Vietnam War? Like all these wars that we create and go into through imperialism, we either don't win or we don't finish our objectives. So it's very funny and condescending for them to post that article. But a little bit more, it says Senator Chuck Schumer said that the U.S. stands with Israel. Fucking little bitch. Also, Amy Schumer is a little bitch too. As Israel is under attack from Iran, we stand with Israel and its people, and the United States will do everything we can to support Israeli defense against Iran. Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democratic from New York, said in a post on X. Great way to send your message through X, or as we all like to call it, Twitter, old Twitter.
I just still call it Twitter, man. I don't know anybody who I don't know anybody IRL who calls that shit X.
Well, it's just a fucking it sounds like a porn website, like fucking X, or like some shady fucking dark web shit. Like the fucking Elon Musk is a fucking dumbass for changing the name of what a tweet came from Twitter, the whole concept of it, and ruining that. and make it into just X and posts. Like the fuck.
It was generational defining, I guess, and it's like when you talk about a corporate rebrand, that shit has been one of the worst I've ever seen. Like Aunt Jemima being changed to Pearl Mills or whatever the owning company is. It's like that was a more successful quote unquote rebrand than Twitter to X. I'm not sorry to say.
By the way, this podcast / videos are promoted by Lucky Strike, the cigarette company. If kids, if you want to smoke, you can go ahead. Sorry, I just had to do that.
This podcast is not promoted or has received sponsorship from anybody.
I don't think they can even. I don't even think they can promote them. Like if they wanted to, like because if they could, like they would go all out on fucking on YouTube and all these sites that do that shit. But the other thing is Netanyahu convening war cabinet. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I always thought the name Netanyahu, like a Yahoo fucking crazy ass person, is convening the war management cabinet in Kira in Tel Aviv. His office said earlier today, before Iran launched hundreds of drones towards Israel. Netanyahu said the country has been preparing for the possibility of a direct attack from Iran in recent years and weeks. Our defense systems are deployed. We are prepared for any scenario, both in defense and attack, Netanyahu said. The state of Israel is strong. The IDF is strong. The public is strong. He said he appreciates the U.S. standing by Israel's side, as well as Great Britain, France, and many other countries who are fucking imperialist pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. I established a clear principle. Whoever hurts us, we hurt them. No, it's the other way. You hurt people, and then they try to hurt you back, and then you hurt them more. But I mean,
yeah, like you get away with hitting everybody over the head. Like you're the school bully with a rich daddy. Like that's what Israel is in the grand scheme of on the international stage.
Yeah, we will protect ourselves from any threat, and we will do so. Oh, this is so boring. Like every fucking nation says this shit. We will protect from any threat, and we will do so with coolness, and determination. Where the fuck did coolness come from? Like, does he want to be cool? Like the popular kid.
I don't know what coolness this man's talking about.
Maybe he's talking about like calm, like we ain't worried about it. But when shit starts to ramp up, we'll see. Netanyahu said, "Together we will stand, and with God's help, together we will overcome all our enemies." So that's Netanyahu. Then we got Biden back at the White House. President Joe Biden arrived at the White House and was headed into the Oval Office at approximately 5:04 p.m. ET. He is to meet with principals of the National Security Council to discuss the situation in the Middle East and Situation Room, the White House says. Now, I got to give, I was talking to Drem about this before we started this. The anarchist logical explanation that we should become an anarchist and states shouldn't exist. If you think about the world in terms of world politics, we are anarchistic. There is no one world government. There is no one world government. All these UNs and stuff, some countries don't abide by UN, or some countries don't abide by other organizations. These are just governments, type of governments, but they're not states. These are the government types that anarchists promote, not being a state, meaning imposing a one law, one world order. And I'm not promoting that it should be like that, but this is where we're at. This is the landscape. We are anarchistic in the world view of politics and of institutions.
It's individualistic. It's greatly individualistic, and it's every man for himself. If anything, they're closer to anarcho-capitalist than anything.
Yeah,
that's what most of the world is. Yeah,
it definitely is. Shout out to Javier, whatever the fuck his name is. Fuck him.
Oh, Malay.
You wanna do this one?
Yeah, sure. X users circulate misleading videos amid Iran attack on Israel. When news broke that Iran had launched a retaliatory attack on Israel, some users on the social media platform X uploaded misleading videos, including footage from previous drone attacks or imagery from video games. In one, an X user posted a video from 6 months ago showing Israel's Iron Dome air defense system intercepting Hamas rockets in Ashkelon. In another post flagged by a reporter for the BBC, an ex-user falsely suggested that imagery from the video game Arma 3 was video from today's drone attacks. And that's kind of been my whole shtick with X is like, and I mean, and this is doesn't just apply to X, it applies to most social media and any research done using social media as a source. It's most of that is very unreliable, especially when it comes to videos. One of the first things I do when I'm looking for video sources and like context and dates and stuff, I'm always looking for like number one, a timestamp. Number two, like, you know, have I seen this video before? That's actually one of my first reactions. It's like, does this video look familiar? Have I seen this before? What's the date on this? Oh no, it's new. It's fairly new. But I also understand that when it comes to like drone footage and stuff like that, a lot of those markers are that would be apparent in, for example, from a FPV first-person point of view drone. The footage that you would get on your screen if broadcast to the public could give away your position and give away your position to the enemy as well. They can ascertain where you're operating out of. But in the case of Israel, it's like, we know where you're doing all this, man. You're nuking Gaza. You're operating out of you're operating in other countries, blowing up their their consulates and stuff. So I have no pity. Like, you're getting what you pay for, man. You have absolutely asked for this. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, not crying any tears.
So it's funny because I got one of those tweets that, you know, to a person I'm not really subscribed to, called Matt Wallace, and he was talking about this. You know, World War III is going to happen. You know, there's Iran is about to attack Israel. The U.S. is about to counterattack. And, you know, I didn't believe it. I thought this was a joke and stuff. And then I turned on the news this morning and I was like, oh, this is really happening. Good job for Iran.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
So, Iran launches attack on Israel that risks sparking a regional war. Iran launched a retaliatory attack against Israel on Saturday that risks sparking a regional conflict that could draw in U.S. military forces. The attack marked the first time that Iran has launched a direct military attack on the Jewish state. Israeli military officials said the attack began with more than 100 Iranian drones heading towards Israel. It would take hours before the drones arrive, and Israeli officials said they hope to intercept them.
Yeah, so this is just going backwards in news. Like, we're reading from the most recent to the least recent. So this is just basically announcing the attack, and you know, we got 4 new updates.
A senior Biden administration official warned that the assault could also involve dozens of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles.
Of course.
The official said the administration expects the Israeli government facilitates to be targeted, but not... Okay, we already talked about that. So let's see the 4 new updates. U.S. military has shot down Iranian drones. The U.S. military has shot down some Iranian drones tonight. According to U.S. officials, the military intends to shoot down Iranian drones and missiles when they come into range of U.S. assets in Iraq, Syria, and at sea. The U.S. has beefed up its air defense in recent months since the attack on Tower 22 and has repositioned assets in the region to be ready for this Iranian attack.
Oh, okay. So it's on like Donkey Kong right now. They're absolutely they're going for it. They're going the distance, and you know uh, can't say can't Iran is complete. Whatever your stance on this, just know that Iran is completely justified in its retaliation. And if they decided not to retaliate, they will have showed more patience and more willpower and more strength than the entirety of the Israeli the whole of the Israeli nation ever has, because they're just it's a bloodthirsty settler colonial state. And I don't feel sorry at all for the people. The people like, if any, like the reason I say that is because there's been recent attempts to scapegoat just Netanyahu and just Ben-Gvir as like especially bloodthirsty or uniquely bloodthirsty individuals who are, and it's because of their whims and their and their point of views that they're going so hard in Gaza and such, when really it's how do I say this? It's the entire it's roughly the entire Israeli state and the people in power. Like, if you get rid of Netanyahu, if you get rid of Ben-Gvir, there's 10 other people waiting to take his place or their places. It's not just these one people. They're trying. That's hearing them blame just Netanyahu and just Ben-Gvir is the U.S. trying to distance themselves politically and socially from their antics and their to save their campaigns, because up until now, everybody, Chuck Schumer and Biden included, have shown nothing but, I mean, Biden said it himself. He's a Zionist through and through, and he'll always support Israel. So coming through and saying like, hey, we're not going to, trying to pretend like he's not a fervent supporter is kind of weak, to be honest. It's misleading at best.
What would you do if there was a draft, and they drafted you?
If they tried to draft, if it was draft, if it was either get drafted or go to jail, honestly, dude, I'd probably just go to jail.
I get drafted just so I can friendly fire the Americans during operations, and just subvert their operations. But hey.
I mean, you can friendly fire some Israelis, man. No one's gonna miss them. Like, I don't. Yeah.
Bro, but some Americans
hypothetically in Minecraft.
Some Americans are complicit in this by supporting Israel. Some of them out of sheer ignorance. Biden says to support Israel. We must support Israel. Oh, these presidents have said to support Israel. They're the democracy of the Middle East. They're complicit in that ignorance. So it is what it is. But let's see. So other than that, is like talking about Iranian attack is severe and dangerous escalation. IDF spokesperson says. So hear this language. Hagari said the IDF is closely monitoring killer drones. Why don't you just say predator drones? Like, why do you have to killer drone? Like, all military drones are basically killer drones. Yeah.
But according to Israel, drones are bad now because the Iranians are using them. It didn't stop the IDF from using predator drones to bomb and kill, unarmed civilians. No. What they were doing, that was just an oopsie poopsie little mistake. But now that another state actor is using them against another state actor and not an unarmed civilian force, now it's bad. oh my gosh! Everybody's shaking your boots. Start demonizing Iran.
So we got a new update. Sirens have sounded across Israel in southern and northern Israel in the areas of Shomron, the Dead Sea, and Jerusalem. The IDF confirmed. The sirens all sounded in the span of about 3 minutes. Residents of the northern Golan Heights, the area of Nevatim, Dimona, and Elat, have been told by the Israel Defense Forces they are required to stay near protective spaces until further notice. The IDF also said it is required to enter a protected space when sirens are activated. If there is no protected space, residents must find the most protected area possible and wait 10 minutes, it said. So, I mean, it could have been like, kind of a little bit of a drill, but it seems like they didn't get all the drones.
Yeah, yeah, they're still on their way. It didn't say they shot down all the drones, so I think they're gonna be all right. So, but yeah, that's the state of Israel right now. They're shaking in their boots, and for I guess for good reason. I'm not the biggest believer in karma whatsoever, but if such a thing existed, I believe that I think it negates like taking personal responsibility, the belief in karma, but like this is obviously this is a retaliation for bombing the embassy, but it's also just as it could also be seen by others, as I'm sure it might be by others, as retaliation for Israel's actions against innocent Palestinians.
There's a video a friend of ours posted. I would highly recommend it, even though I haven't watched it yet. But it is interesting in the sense of its title. You can search it up by the Iraq War wasn't about oil, and what it claims to be, that Iraq War was about Israel. Now I haven't seen the video of the specific arguments towards them, but if you think about it, it does make sense. Israel is trying to gain the greater Israel around the Middle East, obtain other countries' territories, and expand further. I wouldn't be surprised if they want the whole Middle East. That's what they are. They are one of the biggest imperialist powers out there, apart from the United States, that are sending their range of influence among the Middle East and controlling the Arab world and specifically the Muslim religion. So,
yeah, the creator is GDF. The name of the video, for those asking again, is the Israel War, scroll up. The Iraq War wasn't about oil by GDF. So y'all should check that out. And we'll we're gonna check it out some other time.
Here's a little comment by the Boers 838 in the video. Americans are easy to move. Be Netanyahu. So that's very true. It even comes within my own family that believes these certain illogical ideas that don't make sense. It doesn't make sense that a Nakba occurred, that the Palestinians were displaced, and that now Israel has the right to defend itself. If we were to go deep into that argument, you can make that argument for the United States as well, and the Native Americans and Mexico. But we're not gonna go that deep into this in this video. That's something for maybe a shorter video or a more extensive podcast.
More in depth, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, we're going to talk about other crimes, sex crimes specifically, those of a Mr. P. Diddy, or as we affectionately call him,
the Didler.
So, right here we got a. Moving on, we've got an article from Complex about Cassie. That Cassie alleges Diddy engineered Kid Cudi car explosion after he found out they had a brief relationship.
So from my understanding, I saw a little bit of a video from Moist Critical's video explaining a little bit about this from I guess his podcast with his other friends. I don't know who exactly talked about the car bomb, but it was basically that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi at a certain time and was over her place, and the Didler basically said that he was gonna explode Kid Cudi's car, and it ended up happening. Kid Cudi confirmed this detail. So let's see what it says in this article. Cassie has filed an explosive sexual assault lawsuit against her ex-boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs. According to legal documents obtained by the New York Times, the R&B singer, real name Cassandra Ventura, has accused the hip-hop mogul of repeatedly abusing her throughout the course of a decade. The complaint filed Thursday in federal district court in Manhattan paints Diddy as a jealous and violent man who would use his high-profile status to control various aspects of Cassie's life. The two reportedly met in 2005 when the plaintiff was only 19. Cassie signed with Diddy, Bad Boy imprint shortly after, and had an on-again, off-again relationship with the label boss for several years. One of the allegations stemmed from a 2012 incident involving Kid Cudi, legal name Scott Mescudi. According to the Times, Diddy became extremely upset after learning Cassie had a brief relationship with the day and night artist, so much so that he threatened to blow up Cudi's car. He allegedly wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened, and potentially engineer exactly that. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in the driveway, the suit read. Rumors of the incident began circulating online in the late 2012s. However, the reports were never confirmed by the involved parties. A spokesperson for Cudi corroborated Cassie's account in a statement to New York Times saying, "This is all true.
Yeah.
See all relevant portions of the Heroin lawsuit, which is available full and here below." I wish I could send you guys this, but
Yeah, we're gonna either link it or just go to complex.com. Joshua Espinosa is, I believe Joshua Espinosa is the author of this article, and he goes into detail. Provides proof of everything written in the lawsuit. So, I mean, it's been known for some time, but that P. Diddy was doing all the things he's done, but of course, there have been those who've kind of like kept the silence around it, and didn't really move until shit got moving, and we're here where we are now, because of it.
This is the issue with not just Hollywood, but the music industry, where all these people are protecting all these creeps and sexual predators just because they have money, they have a label, they control other people's music. It's very predatory. Like, I do not understand protecting these types of individuals, and anybody involved in this, whichever artist is involved with P. Diddy, even like some actors such as Cuban Gooding Jr., who was called out in the lawsuit as having sexually assaulted someone. They're freaks. They're the scum of the earth. They're bourgeois scum.
And they tend to attract those types as well, either by, like it's kind of how reporters are sort of self-selected for, or newscasters are sort of self-selected for their networks. It's not so much that they're actively silenced from engendering certain speech or certain how do I say it, viewpoints, right? It's that during the interview process they look through their they look through their catalog of appearances and they say, well, is anything that this person says here, is it is it going to hinder our, like, is it going to upset our investors? Is it going to upset our audience? Or is it going to be, you know, kind of milk toast? And they tend to self-select in that regard. And the same way, in kind of the same way for the music industry and the film industry and, you know, all the media in general, it's like there's most likely sociopaths, psychopaths, and their enablers in these positions of power. We'll stick to sociopath because that's most likely what they are. And they kind of self-select, or they might, you know, be interviewing a person and see themselves in them, and so it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, or kind of like this feedback loop of like, their fucked up way of being sees some other person and thinks like, you know, oh, this person's not all well, but that doesn't matter because that means they're like me, and we can put them onto a new project or whatever.
And if he's capable of doing this, you don't think he killed Tupac? Like,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, like, people are like, Suge Knight did it. Suge Knight, shut the fuck up, man. It was P. Diddy. It's the most logical connection that you can have. He had beef with P. Diddy and Biggie, and he fucking like obliterate P. Diddy in the song "Hit 'Em Up." You know, caused embarrassment towards him. Like, if that bothers him with that chick, you don't think like what Tupac did caused P. Diddy to you know, act up and kill him? Like, he's Tupac's killer.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of speculation on that, but like adequate, informed speculation on that yeah, he for sure did it, but we may never know, or we might know. They gotta sift through all his belongings in both his houses. The man's in where is he now? He's in some island country right now. He just abandoned his adult children, who I understand he also helped like groom and show like the business to, and tell them that they were, you know, basically bring them into the family business and do this shit as well. So
he was the legal guardian of Usher when he was 14, and they asked Usher. P. Diddy has this program for kids. It's called Puff Flavor Program or something like that, which is really creepy. And they asked Usher if he would send his kids to that, and he's like, "Fuck no," because he knows what the fuck is going on. Like, it's
not a secret to him.
Yeah. Let's go with the allegations. The numerous allegations that have been thrown against them. So we might skip Cassie's or Cassandra's one because we just did that. But let's start reading it from here. Let's see. Diddy Combs, the Didler, a rapper and music mogul credited with helping launch the careers of some of the biggest stars in recent years, is now facing multiple civil lawsuits accusing him of sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and rape. Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, the Didler, and a host of other names, has undergone a myriad of reinventions since the start of his career, but has since entered a new and unwelcome era. Federal agents with the U.S. Homeland Security raided two of the rapper's houses in Los Angeles and Miami on 25th of March as he faces a string of varying accusations. Combs, 54, has strongly denied all the allegations against him. His attorneys have branded the lawsuits and their accusations as money grabs, baseless, or sickening. The entertainer has not been formally charged or accused by federal prosecutors of any crime. You want to read from here?
Yeah. The new lawsuits come months after Combs' former partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit against him in November. She accused him of raping her in 2018, beating her, demanding she carry a firearm to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, end quote, and forcing her into, quote, unwanted sexual encounters with male sex workers.
The Didler is a cock, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, he pimped her out for sure.
He's like the cock conservatives, you know?
Yeah. Miss Ventura's lawsuit against Combs was settled a day after she filed it for an undisclosed amount of money. The slew of allegations and lawsuits against Combs date as far back as the 1990s, when he founded his own record label, Bad Boy Records. All the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. Lawsuits against the rapper began on 16th November 2023 when he was sued by singer and dancer Cassie, his former partner, who alleged years of abuse. It was filed under the New York Adult Survivors Act just before it expired. This act offered a 1-year window for adult victims of sexual assault to come forward with civil claims regardless of the statute of limitations. Cassandra Cassie Ventura. And then it goes into the profiles of the different types. Tells you about Cassie, how she was an R&B singer. If you run in these circles, you know these names. These are all familiar to you. It details what...
I didn't even know who the fuck she was until this allegation came up.
Yeah, so she was just his, I think, one of his longest partners. And it happened, apparently all these happened over the span of like 10 years. Rodney, Little Rod Jones, Joy Dickerson Neal, and a lot more women and anonymous, other anonymous plaintiffs, unnamed accusers, and then it says Combs' response to allegations was basically that he strongly denied all accusations against him and vowed to fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. And how did he fight for that? He fucking dipped to the to the Asian Pacific. He's fucked over to some island nation that doesn't have an extradition policy to the U.S. So we're never gonna see that guy again. Is my take. He's gonna take. He's taking his millions. What little. Yeah.
Oh, the U.S. will if they find something to prosecute him with, which they have, they'll just get the agents, the feds, to follow him and arrest him, because they did that in Brazil with the guy who killed like this kid who he kidnapped. It's a whole movie like from that Justin Timberlake was in, and he went to Brazil. And he had a whole new life, and he had a kid, and he was like a professor or a teacher or something like that. Or he was a teacher to learn English, and then like the feds got him and arrested him, even though Brazil doesn't have an extradition with the U.S. So if they really want to get him, which it really depends. Like if you think about it, in our world, that person was that I was talking about right now was a lumpen proletariat, but you can say Sean Diddy was a lump in some ways, but he is a bourgeois, even capitalist type of class. So if we're thinking about in Marxist terms, they probably maybe won't get him because he has money, influence, and he invests in like all these stuff in the United States and help the economy by exploiting people. It specifically like raping and sexual assaults and other such things, and they might not go after him, but they could if they want to.
Yeah, for sure. So he's come across a lot of trouble that he's gonna have to sort out for himself. I don't think it's likely that I think his lawyers will do it, but it's not likely that he'll be back on U.S. soil anytime soon. That's for sure.
So another thing, other than from the podcast I was talking about with Moist Critical, not me being with him in a podcast, but is me watching his video. Apparently, like he videotaped everything all his crimes, which I forget which person. I believe it's Rodney, Lil Rod. Yeah, it is Lil Rod. He's claiming that he has all this evidence of these crimes against him because he allowed them to videotape them, wanted to videotape them. So I mean, in that respect, he's fucked. And the other thing is that this guy had like butlers and people, even like Lil Rod had a little like what's it called, like a little fanny pack with drugs, and they would be around P Diddy, so he would have like a rotation of drugs at all times. This man has never been sober in his life. Well, why do you think he wears those sunglasses all the time?
Yeah, and what's more, well, I was gonna say maybe it's because he was cross-eyed like Biggie, but I say Biggie wore it better.
Was Biggie cross-eyed?
Yeah, man.
I never knew that.
Look, if newsflash for anyone who doesn't know, there's video of him accepting like an award. I think it was a Grammy or an Emmy for like an original song, and it showed him without the glasses accepting the award, and the man was like cross-eyed, and I was like, oh, so now I see why he was wearing sunglasses all the time. So yeah, that's part of the reason. But I wouldn't put it past P Diddy or the Didler to for completely different reasons. Yeah, the man either just to give off like that cool person persona. Like I think honest to God, the first time I saw that man without sunglasses on his face was when he was in that movie with Jonah Hill and Russell Brand, Get Him to the Greek, and because he was actually in that movie and he was acting, and I was like, oh shit, like that's P Diddy without glasses. That's what he looks like, and he looks fine. He's not cross-eyed. So, yeah. But the man is definitely going for an aesthetic.
So, a couple of new updates back to the Iran situation, I would say, or defense. Says Iran fired missiles at Israel. U.S. official says. A U.S. official confirmed that Iran fired missiles at Israel and that the U.S. military is trying to shoot down Iranian missiles and drones bound for Israel. The U.S. has shot down several Iranian drones, but does not have confirmation that it was successfully shut down missiles. That it has successfully shut down missiles. So there was another update. The House scheduled to change next week in light of Iran's attack on Israel. The House schedule will change for next week. So, Representative Steve Scalise, the House Republican Majority Leader, and it will refocus on considering the legislation to support Israel and hold Iran accountable. Like, come on, man! Like, hold Iran accountable. What the fuck are you gonna do? Are you gonna send more like sanctions and shit? You think that's gonna?
Yeah, that's all it's gonna be. It's like, oh, we're just gonna continue doing the shit we're already doing, and it's like, okay, well, they're doing pretty well considering. So, honestly, what is that gonna do to you? What is that gonna do to them? So. Not a whole fucking.
I mean, they might introduce legislation trying to send U.S. troops into Iran. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that shit.
In light of Iran's unjustified attack on Israel, wow, like.
Yeah, talk about spin world, bro.
Like they haven't done anything. Like
no, didn't you hear? Israel's completely innocent.
Shit.
Israel
oh, shit.
is like the most innocent people. Like they're the most innocent people on this planet. They don't do they're not racist. They're not homophobic. They treat everybody with respect. They don't blow up buildings for fun while they're bored. That's just all lies, bro.
So they're like the peaceful like hippies.
Yeah, and that's why Iran's going after them. They're like, we want to be peaceful like Israel, but we don't know how to. So, they're just jealous, bro. They're jealous.
Iran's just misinformed.
Yeah. They don't hear the good news. They don't hear the good news, the gospel that we know about Israel.
In light of Iran's unjustified attack on Israel, the House will move from its previously announced legislative schedule next week to Instead, consider legislation that supports our ally Israel and holds Iran and its terrorist proxies accountable. Scalise says terrorist proxies. You know, for one group is a resistant group. For another group is a terrorist group. It really at this point doesn't matter.
Yeah, according to the U.S., Israel is like the rebel alliance, and Iran is the fucking like the Death Star or the New Order, whatever.
So other than that, so Iran says attack in response to Zionist regime aggression has concluded. Iran said it conducted a military attack on Israel in response to the Zionist regime aggression against our diplomatic premises in Damascus, and that the matter can be deemed concluded. The permanent mission of the they found peace.
Oh shit.
Of the Islamic Republic of Iran to the UN said in a post on X. Why the fuck does everybody use X? That if Israel makes another mistake, Iran's response will be considered more severe, and that the matter is between Iran and Israel, and that the U.S. should stay out of it.
Fucking tell them, dude.
It said the attack was legitimate defense in response to the suspected Israeli attack on the Iranian consular building in Syria, and was conducted on the strength of Article 51 of the UN chapter. The drones launched hours ago are beginning to arrive in Israel.
All right, so what we can glean from this, the drones arrived. They did some business, and they're like, okay, that's enough business for today, and they can consider the matter closed, which I would. But if we know anything about the U.S. and Israel, the U.S. will take Israel's bait and of wanting to goad them into war with Iran, and you know, despite them not wanting to, and they'll fucking go for it.
Yeah, just going on a tangent here. You ever seen that the bunch of TikTok videos that the Israelis did, like making fun of the Palestinian people by putting like bullet holes in their fucking face, or like, you know, trying to portray like that they're dead, or making fun of their culture and stuff?
I don't think I've seen the bullet holes ones, but I've seen plenty of videos where they're degrading and mocking Palestinians.
Well, what if like we call to action to all Americans to do that to the Israelis, and just make them be known that they are the scum of the people, the pieces of shit that need to be put down on 6 feet under, maybe 12 feet.
It'd be seen as a largely anti-Semitic
demonstration. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't get it.
Which at this point, like we said, has because of Israel's overuse of it, as you know, any criticism of its state and its apparatus and its actions, they deem anything anti-Semitic. So if anyone's cheapening that term, it's them and its effectiveness. I have nothing against Palestinians. I have all the love for them. It's the Zionists that I can't stand. And if you're an Israeli who is firmly against conscription and the overall ugliness that your state is bringing onto innocent people, then more power to you. But I wish you luck in your endeavors to try to bring that message to your fellow country folk. I think it's a losing battle, though. It's a Sisyphean effort. Or Sisyphus. Anyway, yeah. It's an uphill battle, is what I'm trying to say.
So to leave y'all with one more update. Rocket fire streaks across the sky as air raid sirens blare in Jerusalem. Jerusalem, the dark sky above the old city of Jerusalem lit up tonight with orange flashes of rocket fire as air raid sirens rung out across the city. The bursts of rocket fire resemble shooting stars and appear to come from the Israeli sophisticated air defense system, not the Iranian drones attack. So end off. You know, we're probably gonna see more updates after we end this podcast, but
this is fairly new for everybody. It's fairly new for us. If you're not keeping track of it already, you're gonna get updated when we get updated. So this just happened to fall on the day we decided to record. So we got pretty lucky, relatively speaking.
So yeah, I would like everybody listening to this. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for being with us. We hope you're all well. This has been Boss Bolshevism. I'm Drem.
I'm Marxist Hoodlum.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.